guys, and welcome to Film Artsy, your number one source for all things films and movies. And the movie industry is kind of going crazy right now with all of the stuff going on involving the global situation that we are faced with. Now, we've already talked about some of the things that have happened recently, such as the new Bond movie getting delayed till later this year. And it looks like other movie studios are following suit and pulling their movies away from theaters, which is really interesting. This seems like a unprecedented event. So let's talk about what's been going on, what's been changed, and what we can expect from the future. Now, first up, we saw other studios pull their films from their initial release dates after Bond, the first one to kind of do that, did. We know the new Fast and Furious movie that we recently got a trailer to got a delay of one entire year, which will be coming out now in quarter one or quarter two 2021, which was a really big surprise to see a movie that was about to release get pushed back that far, but maybe they're really trying to make sure that this film can reach the most audiences. We know the Fast and Furious movies are really well received in international countries, especially areas where the situation has kind of been worse. So it's not a huge surprise that they went ahead and pulled that movie out as well. Also, similarly, we saw Disney pull the plug on their upcoming Mulan movie. This one also another movie that was expected to do very well in international box offices. So this movie also has a delay. However, we don't have an official confirmation as to when we will be seeing this film hit theaters. We also see John Krasinski's movie A Quiet Place Part 2 catching a delay as well, and this movie was actually set to release very soon. There were trailers playing up until yesterday on television and TV networks for this movie, but of course now this movie is also going to be looking at a delay for it later on this year. And one of the most interesting stories of the movies that are kind of facing delays is The New Mutants, which was supposed to release all the way back in 2018 and saw delay after delay after delay, and ultimately, while this movie was finally in fact going to release, it had to catch another delay, this time not because of production, not because of any other logistical things like companies switching out who owns the rights to different things, but this time the movie just caught the delay because of what's going on. So it is really interesting nonetheless that we are going to maybe one day ever get to see this movie. We do expect it to release maybe still later on this year, but it is really just in an interesting predicament where it also caught a delay. Now, one thing that is putting a huge question mark out there is the fact that Black Widow is still not officially delayed. Now, of course, we wouldn't be completely shocked if, of course, this movie ends up getting a delay. Maybe they're making discussions as to whether or not they want to do that, but there's definitely more involved when it comes to delaying a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, because not only do they have to make sure that all of these movies line up properly in release patterns, as different things happening in the universe and different storytelling techniques are intended from day one to be released in a certain order. So it would be really interesting to see what the end result would be if the new Black Widow movie ends up getting delayed, because this would kind of affect the entire MCU release structure. We would expect possibly that this could interrupt other movies like the Eternals, the Disney Plus releases, and any other shows that were supposed to release as well if this movie ends up being delayed. We really don't know what type of tie-ins were intended with Black Widow, and we really won't see how that pans out to the bigger picture until we look back later on after we've seen the releases throughout this year for the MCU. But it is really interesting to note that we just got a new trailer for this movie, and it doubled down what its release date was, and we don't have any official announcement of this movie getting delayed. Now, maybe this is just Disney banking on hoping that the MCU fan base will show up despite everything going on, just to try to keep revenue coming in the movie industry in one way or another and keep that side of it alive. Or maybe they're going to change their mind and delay this movie, and maybe we'll just see this release later on in the fall of this year. We don't really have anything slated for a major MCU release in fall. However, it is going to have to go to head with all these other movies that are delayed. So it is really interesting to note that that movie hasn't yet been canceled or delayed just yet. So that's where we are with this entire situation. It is really interesting. It's definitely a situation we've never really experienced before, especially when you look at it from the movie industry perspective. But we wanted to know what you guys think about these movies getting delayed. Are you disappointed, or in a way are you excited that you're going to see a more concentrated number of movies being released at a different time? And that means it could be a good time to be a movie viewer when everything is kind of mellowed out, hopefully. Whatever your thoughts are, let us know in the comments down below. We are really interested to see what ends up happening whenever New Mutants comes out, of course, because that movie was supposed to be released a long time ago. It got delayed. There was apparently going to be reshoots, and then it recently came out that there was no reshoots ever made because the actors had grown up too much, which is just funny because of how these delays work. But we'd love to know what you guys think. Let us know what you're thinking, and be sure to subscribe with notifications on for more videos like this, and we'll see you all next time with a brand new video. Bye, guys.
I'm about to.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
Hi.
See you guys.
Know anybody?